Hi, I'm Katie Johnson. I am a licensed independent social worker in the state of Iowa. I work with student athletes one-on-one here in my office, and we explore issues that they're facing, such as anxiety or anxiety symptoms, depression or depressive symptoms, life changes that might be experiencing day to day or within their sport, relationship issues or concerns, stress, etc. We know that student athletes face a unique type of stress in juggling the demands that they face. So that is something that we often explore together. And within and around all of these concerns, something that comes up often is a topic of self-care. So how are you caring for yourself within these things that are going on in your life? And a topic of I guess underneath and underlining self-care that comes up often is the issue of sleep quality. I think if we're experiencing a lot of those symptoms or those concerns, sleep is something that will also be impacted. Sleep is also something that is very important for a student athlete's rest and recovery. So I want to talk a little bit today about some side effects that you might notice if you have a lowered sleep quality, and then let's talk about some tips on how we can improve your sleep quality. Okay, so if you have interrupted sleep patterns, or you're not getting enough sleep each night, or maybe you're having difficulty falling asleep at night, there's a whole variety of things that you might notice within your sleep that could have an effect on reducing that quality. If we're not getting good sleep, some things we might notice is obviously some reduced energy or some fatigue day to day. That could lead to some headaches or some irritability, so within our relationships, or some lowered patience or being on edge within our relationships. And again, that can be with friends or family members or coaches or teammates. And we know if we're not functioning on all cylinders, and if we are more irritable or on edge, it's going to be a lot more difficult to have smooth and good communication and understanding between people, and could lead to increased conflict. Again, going back to that reduced energy or fatigue, if we are experiencing that, we might have decreased focus or concentration ability. So that's within game, within school, within relationships, etc. It's also been found, studies have shown that for those individuals or student athletes that have shorter amount of sleep time at night, you have an increased risk of injury or injury exposure. So those are just a few of the side effects that you might notice if you're noticing, again, a reduced sleep quality in the form of interrupted sleep. So maybe you're waking up throughout the night, or if you aren't able to fall asleep right away at night, if you're having maybe anxiety or stress that's preventing you from falling asleep. Or that could just be that maybe you're not going to bed at an adequate time and getting up very early. Obviously, sometimes you have morning practices, that sort of a thing. So if you're getting just a shorter amount of time asleep, the recommendation is 6 to 8 hours per night. That's going to be a little bit different and look a little bit different for every person and every body, but it's important to find and work around and shoot for that 6 to 8 hours. I think if you can get 8 hours, it's going to be much better. So let's start to talk about some tips and how you might improve your own sleep quality or sleep duration. Okay, first tip is maybe a little bit difficult, but try to set a time to go to bed each and every night. So let's say 10:30. That might seem a little bit early. I know that you're juggling school, you're juggling classes, you've got friends. Obviously, games sometimes or practices can go late into the evening. Just depends on what's going on. But let's, again, for example's sake, try to say 10:30 is the time that you want to go to bed every night. So maybe some nights you don't have as much going on, so you shoot for 10 o'clock, and maybe other nights it's 11 o'clock. But again, work around whatever is in your comfort zone and your schedule. So let's say 10:30 for example's sake. We've got our time set. We're going to go to bed at 10:30 every night. Jump ahead 30 to 45 minutes. So let's say at 10 o'clock every night is when you're going to start your sleep preparation routine. So that means that 30 minutes before you're actually going to get into bed, you're going to start this routine. And that is going to include a couple of guidelines. First of all, shut off all your screens. That means turn the phone off, turn the laptop off, or the iPad, or the TV, whatever device that you might be using, shut it down 30 minutes before bed. You want to do that so that your mind and your body are both in that deactivation mode. When we're in game mode or we're in watching videos mode, or we're on these devices that have this blue light background screen, or if the lights in our room have that sort of blue light happening, it's going to activate our brain. So shut your screens off 30 minutes before you actually get into bed. Also, let's start to engage in some relaxing or winding down activities. Maybe you turn the lights down and you start to read a book, or maybe you journal, or you have a hot cup of non-caffeinated tea, or maybe you sit down in a warm space in your room, or you take a hot bath. Anything for you. I think engaging your senses is something that can really start to deactivate us. That's why I'm mentioning a lot of those heat sources. Something of comfort. You want to be comforted and soothed within that 30-minute time frame. So find something that works and fits for you, and that's letting your body as well as your mind start to come down from activity. Another piece is, again, I guess getting back to that caffeine piece, let's try not to have any caffeine anytime after 12 or 1. I know some days are a little bit tougher, but that caffeine, depending on your body's sensitivity to the caffeine, can get a lot more activated through the evening and make it more difficult to fall asleep. Okay. Another rule is let's leave your bed for sleep only. So that means don't do your homework or any of this routine on your bed. Get a chair, or if you have a common area in a dorm or at your apartment or in your house, go sit somewhere else and do this work, do your studies, both before and during the sleep routine. We want your mind to associate your bed with sleep, and if you're doing all of these other activities on your bed, then it's not going to be tricked into that, okay, I'm in bed, it's sleep, it's rest time. Okay. Also want to have your room have all sorts of optimal conditions for sleep. So let's say temperature, you want to be around 65 degrees if you can get there. If you can't get that within a thermostat, make sure your blankets are very comfortable. Make sure they're light if you have a warmer room, and heavier if you have a super cold room. You want to have low lighting, if not dark. I know that's sensitive to everyone, so creating that optimal lighting and any sort of conditions that you can to improve that sleep quality. Okay, I think then the last piece is carrying these things out every single night. So you might want to play with your sleep routine. That's something that you can really personalize for yourself, but it's something to make sure that we're doing for ourselves every night, so we get our body into a good routine. That's why they call it that sleep routine, or having that good sleep hygiene. Okay? If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My name is Katie, again, and it's Katie at johnsoncounselingllc.com. Again, it's Katie, Katie, at johnsoncounselingllc.com. Thanks, and good luck in developing your routine.